All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to go with game number 3, the decider. NaVi versus Empire. Let's see if our audio is any better back on the stream.
Maybe. Is this the part where I make that classic commentator remark about how game 1 was super one-sided, game 2 was super one-sided the other way, so game 3's got to be excellent.
Yeah, it is actually.
That is literally everyone's go-to of a stompy series back and forth, and so it must mean we'll have a good game 3 on our hands, ladies and gentlemen.
You know, if you think about it logically, what it means to me is that game 3 is going to be a stomp. You just don't know which way.
Yes,
like I would say that.
I think that is also historically speaking been what's happened more often than not. So.
And also, well, although at the same time, I feel like when you have 2 close games, game 3 is often a stomp. But maybe
that's true.
That's kind of the reverse thing. But you get to a game 3 after 2 close games, everyone's kind of tired and exhausted, and very quickly a draft win can happen. But yeah, stuff happening. Drafts going down. Got the Russian-Ukrainian boys over there in Kiev having a good time. We're sitting here in LA casting. It's actually a reasonable hour now. We start pretty early. It's 10:30. We're happy. We're awake. Had our tea and coffee, and we get to cast some NaVi versus Empire. TA valued very highly. It was 3rd picked with potentially 3 counter picks in play for NaVi, but it won both the last 2 games, and I would say was a pretty key hero in both those 2 games. So I kind of understand why they're valuing it as much as they are. Okay, and they protected it with the Husker ban.
Yeah.
So I think it's like, okay, here's this hero that can kind of crush a TA. Even the Clinks is kind of being used as a mid-hero solution. Mm-hmm. So they ban out some of the more problematic ones. Just grab it before NaVi can, since obviously they won with it as well. And yeah.
Is Empire just like trying to take NaVi's lineup?
Yeah. You see the tree in Phoenix, and it's like, is this NaVi?
That's kind of what this looks like. Which does not give me much hope for them. Whenever a team's like, damn, that was so strong. That felt like an overpowered lineup. Let's just pick it, you know?
Wasn't there, didn't NaVi, they did Tree and Phoenix both the last 2 games, or well, who had it game 1? Because it was in game 1, wasn't it? It would be NaVi, because that was Wind Ranger.
The game 1, it was the Draw Ranger strat.
Oh, I'm thinking of the previous best of 3. They kind of blurred together because we had literally no break between them. That's
exactly what happens. Furzy did have the Phoenix tree in the very first game.
Yeah. And I think it is fair to say Empire's great. You know, Tree and Phoenix is not some new innovative thing that NaVi's just busting out.
No, absolutely.
Coming out of nowhere. Everyone kind of knows about it. Bat Rider. So they get a kind of solution for the TA. I don't know if they're necessarily laning Bat mid. They may actually with these heroes. Hard to say. But damage over time. Lockdown. A hero that can just go in the TA.
So, Tiny versus TA. Bat Rider against the...
Tiny... Oh, I guess Ursa could be... You think Ursa's support, not Tiny?
I think Ursa's support.
Yeah. I'm fine with that.
I think I've seen more Ursa supports.
And kind of be that tree and counter in lane in a way, like the same way against the Ogre?
Yeah. Because it's certainly not that, like, roaming Ursa... Well, it's not good against Marana. It's probably not going to be good against whatever this last book is from Team Empire either. Is Morphling good tier? I mean, you turn into a TA, you get refraction.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. I'm just maybe a little bit concerned about timing.
I imagine we'll see more of this fighting style Morphling, like some kind of Dragonlance Manta type build. I mean, just some way of getting out of the overgrowth or getting fire spirits off you so you can like wave in and kill the egg. Manta against the TA refraction sounds nice. I wonder if they also maybe see it as something that could match up. I'm curious who goes mid, because even though Bat Rider's like the TA counter in a way, I don't know if you necessarily just want to send the Bat Rider to mid.
There was like every single hero I thought of was already banned away for the Morphling. You know, you really like Terrorblade, I think it's pretty good against it. I think Phantom Lancer is good against it. Both those heroes were 3-4 bans, so NaVi did protect themselves with this Morphling pickup really well. Is Venomancer the answer? I have not been impressed by Venomancers. I played some Venomancer, didn't feel great. Not really convinced by the pros thinking this hero is good.
Yeah, and this is like their 10th pick of the draft, kind of won't be their, their big X Factor hero, and it's a Veno, and I don't feel like it solves the Morphling problem, which is kind of the hero in front of you are like, what are you going to do against Morphling? How do you beat him? And I guess they're saying they already have enough answers with their team fight, with the TA, who can just out-farm, arrow landing, and they don't have like an insta-stun for Morphling, or silence even. Like, that to me is a bit of a concern. But
and they're facing into two heroes that can get locked down on Venomancer and kill him before he gets off his Nova.
Yeah.
Batrider and Tiny. Granted, they also want to do that to the Templar Assassin.
Yeah, so the part they looked at Veno and liked was definitely the ability to scout and kite around some of these blink-dependent heroes, like Ursa, Batrider, potentially even Tiny, just popping those wards down, kind of annoying to play against.
Early laning pressure, probably one of the better heroes to deal with Batrider, core-to-core matchup. He starts getting aggressive on you, I guess you just gale him, but hopefully you just win the lane well enough with Poison Sting harassment and such that you don't have to deal with that.
Yep.
Can they aggro with Veno? What is that bottom lane? Oh, it's the Morphling lane?
Yeah, I guess it depends what the actual matchups they're hoping for. It does look like Tiny might be going mid. Magical has picked it up, but at the same time I feel like Tiny probably should be fine against TA. Yeah, they're going to send Tiny mid.
Yeah, we saw that earlier, right?
Yep.
It seemed to go really well.
All right, well, we'll prepare ourselves for battle as we head our way into this game. Will be a Cormoran in the off lane. Looks like the Treant Phoenix support duo making its return, and we can see a Batrider. Like we got a different hero, a bit of a different look from one of the two teams. Batrider was, I think, banned out in at least one of the previous games, and we also get a Morphling, so something a little bit new being presented by both teams here in our Game 3 decider, as we'll hop ourselves in.
It'd be kind of cool if they aggro tri-laned. Not sure if they do it with the Batrider or what, but I think Morphling left in a one-on-one against Mirana would be quite strong. You probably have a big CS advantage. Question is whether or not Mirana can put enough harassment on you to punish you, and Mirana has notoriously had quite low attack damage to start.
Yeah.
That is something. Empire have two heroes that have like just shitty, just awful starting damage. Venomancer and Mirana. They're both awful at it. They're both cores trying to farm side lanes.
And that's where Morphling's like, okay, I should have a good lane stage, most likely, wherever he goes. Even potentially in mid lane against TA, that's not a hero you're too afraid of, but he'll find himself quite happily probably farming up in this top lane. Doesn't have any support up there for now, but most likely we'll see, let's say, Siniko on the Wyvern TP up there later on with the Splinter Blast. It could be a courier snipe attempt from him. Has some sentries, may even look to be blocking some camps. It's very early to be blocking camps, I feel. Seeing TA probably doesn't even look to stack them until 3 or 4 minutes in. But they just want to get started. Yeah, he is eyeing off this courier, which is not even coming out. So we'll wait and see how things pan out there. As it does.
Oh, he's got that nifty ancient ward on the cliff in mid lane that sees over that middle area
while blocking the spawn, I believe. Yep. So I'll see top lane Treant with Mirana. See how well that can do against the Morphling, who likely will see Siniko up there soon. Courier's not coming out. Siniko, how long are you going to wait? This is one of those things where the longer you wait, the less value you're getting out of your lane stage. And yeah, he's going to give up, go top. Has the Arctic Burn already skilled, though, so not really the ideal level 1 laning spell, but it's something.
Yeah, that is really unfortunate because Mirana would be very susceptible. You could just keep throwing it on the range creep, so the range creep isn't the one taking the damage, can never be in deny range, and you get all that bounce damage onto the Mirana. As a result, you would push that in the lane into a Dream Protector. You don't like pushing lanes in against that hero because it just gives him a lot of room to work with. You like it close to your tower where this one sentry is effective for you and he can't chase you very far.
Yeah, he put that sentry really far back. Hoping that probably doesn't get dewarded here. Treant, no sentry in his hands as we'll take an eye back towards the mid lane. Tiny versus TA. Should be pretty even farm battle between the two. Tiny with a lot of early denies, but same for the TA. Both with 5 last hits and 4 to 5 denies. We'll keep eyes on top where Saniko's getting in some good harass. He's using that Arctic Burn, even if it's not the ideal level 1 spell, to see what he can get out of this lane.
Yeah, Chappie is going to be well set up, I think, at bottom lane. Like, Ursa can't really get close to him. He's getting good harassment damage on the Bat Rider with his Poison Sting. And the Phoenix isn't a hero that the Bat Rider or the Ursa can go on either. So,
I mean, this is the kind of Veno Bat Rider matchup you talked about being pretty favorable.
Yeah.
Feels like we are seeing that so far, at least.
I wonder at what point does he get wards. Most of the Venomancer I've seen, level 4 or level 5, they start going the wards and max it out from there.
Yeah.
I've yet to see the like sort of off-lane style of Venomancer where you go 4-4-0 and just max out your damage. I think that build is more designed to shut down a carry rather than get farm and pressure towers yourself.
TA doing just fine in this mid lane as we're not going to see any major struggles against the Tiny.
As I say that, they are going to go on the Venomancer at bottom lane.
His woes are going to start beginning here. As not going to be looking at it just yet, but he is being dove. There we go. A lot of napalm stacks brought up, and with the Firefly, Blizzy should be able to get this kill. We'll take a lot of damage to get it, and it looks like he may just die of the tower. Yeah, so we'll split the gold between them, but gets the kill first, including a first blood bounty. So definitely what NaVi were hoping for and something they're happy with. And in some ways, it's fine that Batrider dies because it allows him to fill up his mana pool, which was completely depleted, and he was low in health. So
yeah, and his HP pool, that's really important. With the Venomancer harassment already being so potent, you want to be high HP just so you can maintain a threat.
Yep.
Chappie's just got to be careful he doesn't get wrapped around on behind. That's how they got him. Chu wrapped around behind, did manage to get the Thunderclap slow.
Yeah, it's still looking fine for Empire when you see this last hits. Mirana is just crushing this Morphling in lane with the help of the Treant. It was Treant who we saw kind of zoning the Morphling away from those last hits earlier on, so unable to secure this safe lane even with the Wyvern. I think not having Splinter Blast level 1 makes a big difference there, and it's partly why the CS is this lopsided, but additionally Empire obviously playing this lane a whole lot better and just really in sync.
Got to be careful with the Splinter Blasts on the melee creeps.
Yeah.
Is it level 2 or level 3 you put the range creep into 9? I think even level 2 Splinter Blast by itself will hit the range creep and put it into 9.
It does, yeah.
It does. So he really can't afford that.
Yep. And that's happened there. We see Mirana with a lot of denies early on. Morphling with 8 denies himself, but definitely not many last hits. And this is it. Batrider not happy against the slows of the Venomancer. Tries to turn and get some Firefly damage in. Chappie does get pushed into a little bit, but he's going to get the first kill and go for the second. If there's no TP out, Chu should be dead here with the slows. Maybe no Gale means he can get away from this one with the boot's movement speed. The Firefly wearing off, but the Gales come back up as Chu will chase down the kill, and Seiyu will actually pick up the last hit. Wants this bounty rune, and he'll actually get it in front. Just barely. No dive for a few seconds here. No Firefly either, as Seiyu will have the dive back up in just a second. We'll have to use it to escape. Blizzy going for this one. He wants the Flame Break. Has a lot of napalm stacks, but they're going to wear off, so he's back to 1 now, and I think Blizzy realizes he's got to cease the chase.
I really like this Chappie going for the 3rd level of Poison Sting because of how important it is to keep that lane pressure on this Batrider. Yeah. You don't have the damage to put on the Batrider will get aggressive on you. It's basically, if you don't kill him, he'll kill you.
It's definitely your best early game scaling spell. Like once level 4 Poison Sting, you hit once, and it's like something like 300 damage over time.
Yeah.
You can't like easily reapply it, but it just continues to kind of chip away slowly over them. As Chappie does end up going down this bottom lane, so back and forth action there is 3 kills to 2, and all of that action happening in this bottom lane. Mid and top has just been a farm battle where Empire are getting the better of NaVi so far. TA doing TA things, crushing the mid lane, top lane, Mirana having an even better time. Morphling only with 12 last hits in total. Although at least a sizable amount of denies to somewhat negate any kind of experience advantage for Miposhka.
Ursa reapplying a ward on that very common Radiant Ancient camp that gets stacked the most.
Yep.
And then the ward also checks into the jungle, can see rotations. That's what they're going to do. They're going to try and rotate this. What hero is that?
That's Batrider. He's coming in
Batrider
early.
coming
Yeah.
in.
Not the hero you'd expect to rotate. That's more maybe the Ursa, who's kind of the forward position, but they're going to go in, look for this dive. Kuman has another refraction up. Is this going to save his life? Probably not with the Firefly damage over time. He barely survives through it all. Just enough damage, and he's got a salve as well. He's going to stay in this lane. Very nicely played. No panic from Empire. They just rotate in the Phoenix. They turn it around. And that is a big loss of growth for Blizzy, who probably just feels like he can't even lane bottom against the Veno at this point, who has now got that point in Plague Ward at level 6. This is just a value point because you can use it to apply the Poison Sting more than anything. You don't have to get too close to Blizzy and put yourself in harm's way and just get some cheap, cost-effective harass in. Even just with that 50% damage, it's still definitely worthwhile when you've got this such high points in Poison Sting.
Yeah, just like trading off a little bit of gold to be able to get a half Poison Sting on a hero.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice. Again, because of the fact he puts the damage on the Batrider, the Ursa, they feel less inclined to try and go on this Venomancer.
Top lane, Miposhka. He's baiting here.
Turn
He has
around.
the Treant, yeah.
Nice.
He was ready to turn that one around. Saniko was not expecting that one. Treant was there waiting. As Morphling will rotate on in, though. Can he bring down the Treant Protector here? Waveform forward. He really wants this, but not with the Living Hour. I don't think he gets this kill, and yeah, Crystallize will not continue the chase.
Both teams strategically seem really ill-equipped to dealing with Treant Protector. Like the way that they choose their lane setups and the way they play, they just keep on dying to Treant Protector, despite the early pickup, despite like the Quelling Blades or whatever. It just keeps working out for them. They thought this Morphling was going to be doing probably better than he did, but the Treant Protector Mirana just proved to be a very potent threat. They're going to go for Saneko again.
Same thing. He just plants a sentry now, but he's already been gone on by the time it's in the ground. It will get his carrier kill. So this one, a much better trade, and in fact, a Na'Vi favored trade, if anything. Crystallize getting a solo kill on Morphling. The problem is he's not really able to continue farming, which has been the case of a lot of this lane stage. It has started to swing and become a much more even lane. 32-21 to the 39-11 is actually looking pretty good for him in his lane now that he's got some levels and early game stat items to play around.
Medallion of Courage pickup for the Venomancer, which does speed along his jungle, and it also increases his own survivability, right? Because he's got all these wards doing physical damage, and he can lower the armor of the creeps. Maybe not quite what I expected. I guess a Hood or a Force Staff may not actually save you against the Batrider.
Yeah, it does give him a bit better roshing potential early on with the TA, but I don't really think that's reason enough to be picking it up. Probably is a lot more kind of what you're saying. Bounty Runes have spawned, and it is a 3-1 Empire-favored Bounty Rune pickup as they continue their growth here. TA with a massive CS lead this game, but all of that is, of course, neutrals, and it's actually Veno topping the net worth. So those kills he's managed to find, and all that extra bit of gold that he's getting has actually given him an edge.
The Haste Rune's going to run out right as this gank wrap round is going to come in.
TA, that's a lasso. He had the pretty setup, but we'll see the ugly finish for the poor TA, who's, whoa, even a Supernova being committed to try and protect him. Will they kill this egg? It could be close. One more right click. They've just barely got it.
If he gets the Supernova off successfully, then he kills Blizzy and probably Saneko.
Yeah.
With the refresh Fire Spirits.
That was very close. He was, I would say, less than a second, probably like 0.5 seconds away from that egg going off.
Yeah. Arrow into the hit from Maiden will force Crystallize back once again. You don't need to kill Morphling. You don't need to kill a lot of carries, honestly. You just put enough damage onto them that forces them back to base, or forces them to burn through a lot of regen, just killing their own net worth naturally. Like, you just repeat that over and over again, and it's still effectively the same as killing them.
Yeah, you see Morph CS compared to the TA Veno right now, even compared to this Morphling, and you're just got to be worried for him and his item growth and the HP regen that he's been forced to spend money on.
So much economic damage.
Yeah, his net worth is pretty low down there, number 6 on the charts. Good 2,000 gold behind the Veno. who's skyrocketing ahead. Chappie having a great game on this Venom, despite being 1, 2, and 2. It's like 2 deaths, which just didn't really cost him all that much in the end, it seems. He's managed to just maintain a stranglehold over this lane, has maxed out the Plague Wards now by level 9, and is not really a lane anyone can go to on this Navi side, I feel like, right now.
Yeah. Being a Spirit Vessel core is kind of interesting, too, because it just gives you that, like, if you get Poison Nova off and you get Spirit Vessel on them, surely they die, right? But it's kind of weird because Venomancer plays by himself so often at this point of the game where he just plays with Poison Wards, that how likely is it that he's going to be able to pick up those charges or that early earn?
Well, that's a value tree in play. Just walk on through, find the sentry, and walk on out as bottom lane. Uh-oh. Lasso on cooldown, so I imagine that was used to set things up there. Blizzy, with the help of Chu, find the kill on the very farm Venomancer. So that is a nice big kill to be getting at this point.
I definitely would have gone Dragonlance Hurricane Pike.
On Veno?
Yeah. Sort of like the Matoma Man style build. Again, I don't know if that's correct. I don't play enough Venomancer. I've only been trying to run him as a 3 position. But it seems like it would be really good here. It would give him a lot more safety in being a solo hero.
Yeah, the better stats and having that 4 stuff later on.
Yeah, just having basically an escape mechanism for yourself and not being so reliant on other people.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Veno often wants to play alone in a lane, like you said, and having no escape is kind of his downside there. If you can't scout them coming in with Plague Wards, if they somehow get on top of you, you're in trouble.
Yeah, especially considering how much he's shut down the Batrider and the Ursa's farm. Like, Batrider went for the drums first build. The Ursa is not going to be having the fastest Blink Dagger. Well, maybe he will if he keeps getting these pickoffs, but...
They've managed to stop TA from completely snowballing. It's not been constant Ancient stacks. In fact, they're body blocking Ancients from spawning. Tiny's just like, yeah, you know, I'll help out. I'll do my part to slow down this TA. It is still a top net worth TA, but definitely nowhere near as farmed as what we saw in going back to previous games.
Body blocking camps from spawning can make a support feel like he's going crazy.
Yeah.
Because you're like, wait, where's the ward?
And yeah, they had a sentry and everything. I think the TA trap saw him body blocking, at least in that situation. But
yeah, Kuman did a really good job protecting himself with all those TA traps. It's so hard to gank these heroes. Arc Warden is the same, where he just spams out defensive Spark Race in the most common rotation areas.
I'll have a quick pause here, as it looks like Chappie's decided bottom lane is no longer a safe place to be. He died a couple times there, even just recently, and when he's as farmed as he was, that's quite costly, but hasn't hurt his farm growth too much, so he's going to just head top, play around that area of the map while his team actually are the ones who are going to move bottom. Doesn't look like he wants to commit to this tier 1 tower for now. Back at bottom, Empire setting up to defend their tier 1. What can Maiden find here? He's scouting on the tree and Protector. Needs to be careful about any potential sentries he could walk into, which doesn't seem like a problem for now. Problems do come Miposhka's way. That's the call, Mirana. Brought down.
They had such a large net worth lead, but they haven't. They have a TA matchup where if TA does well, sometimes she takes the mid tower really early, and they have a core Venomancer, a safe lane Venomancer. Usually that guy takes the offlane tower and rotates out, takes the enemy's safe lane tower. Here, this is their very first tower of the game at 15.5 minutes in.
And it even gets denied, too.
And it gets denied, and it might also be traded out, as Crystallized, I think, is just going to keep going. He sees the living armor on this tier 1, and he's going to try and make sure it doesn't heal back up to full.
Well, Empire have other ideas. They're going to rotate in even the Mirana. Really want to try and make sure it does not get denied. Shoot comes in nice. Arrow set up. Crystallized. Will he get blown up? He gets rooted. The double Starstorm finishes him off. Perfectly played by Empire, recognizing he went for this full agi to try and blast hit the tower. And they punish it as the chase is on. Shu, Arrow. Oh, okay. Just a split second too late.
Well, that was a disaster. Well baited by Empire, I guess.
Yeah.
Miposhka lined himself up. threaded that needle onto the Morphling.
That looked like the right play for Morphling. Like he's probably looking around like, okay, you know, there's this combo that could maybe kill me, but it felt like that tower was so low and he doesn't want the living armor to keep healing it up.
Yeah, it's one of those situations, if he's just quicker with his fingers, he either doesn't get hit by the arrow or he pops strength more before he's stunned, and they can't. Very unlikely that they actually kill him with those nukes that they had.
Yeah, and I'm sure in hindsight he's probably like, oh, I should maybe seen that as a possibility and just been sitting on higher strength rather than that full Agi build, but
sure.
Not to always know. I couldn't actually tell how these HP bars confused me. It looked like he was a lot more Agi than he actually was.
The game is going to change a bit now with the Shadow Blade on the Tiny. Allows, once they start getting the Blink Dagger items up as well for the Bat Rider and Ursa.
Right. They flubbed the first Shadow Blade gank though. Magical and Blizzy tried to team up there, and instead they're going to lose one, almost both. Magical gets his Shadow Blade back off cooldown, so is able to escape, but they'll lose a tier 1 tower for that. That's their Shadow Blade reveal, and doesn't go particularly well.
All of a sudden, all the towers have fallen. Empire's getting all of them.
Yep. Didn't quite get there right away, but once they got a few more levels, hit their early game item timings, it suddenly feels like, you know, they don't have a problem. Venom's a lot tankier now with his Spirit Vessel, gets a Hood of Defiance as well, so his survivability is ramping up. They gank the Morphling wherever they go. They just, you know, they're turning water into wine right now.
He's just got a lot of weird small items. He's got 4 different small items now. His Spirit Vessel's not that small, but the Ring of Aquila, sure, absolutely expected.
Yep.
Agility, safe lane, hero. Then the Hood of Defiance, okay, you're versus a Bat Rider, yes. And then, I guess the weirdest one was that Medallion of Courage. But that's kind of what's helped him farm along, I guess.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like that super value item that he's, you know, like your Visage, you're like, well, I'm going to be farming Ancients and doing a lot with. You've got Plague Wards, but it's just like it slowly increases your farm and a small increase in your survivability. Either way, he's in a great place. He's second on net worth and considerably far ahead of all the dire cores, so don't imagine Empire feel too concerned about where this game is at right now. In fact, they should feel pretty good. As we'll see NaVi kind of looking to counterplay down bottom.
And that's the best part, right, is they have a Treant Protector to set up on the opposite side of the map to catch heroes if NaVi chooses, because they don't want to fight into Venom wards. They're naturally going to try and push the other side of the map, and Tree might be able to catch kills for you as a result.
It feels like he's potentially trying to set up here, but it's just a Phoenix TPing in, so the 2 supports, what can they do? They can force a Morphling away from this tier 2 as TA does rotate in. Looking at these Ancients, have they got the ability to kill TA with a DD Tiny? I feel like they might, but blinks away before the gank can come in, and it seems like TA knows what's going on. That is not a safe place to be. NaVi have taken over this bottom side of the map, and she does not get baited in.
Because Blizzy doesn't have a Blink Dagger yet.
Yeah, that's true.
Gotta get on those items, man. Gotta get on, like, I think I've done this plenty of times. As I play so active as an offlaner that I've let myself fall off in net worth. And it ends up ruining your mid-game ganks like this one.
Because your team's expecting that blink to be online by 20 minutes in or so.
Yeah. In fact, Blizzy's not going to go blink at all. He switched up his build now for a faster Force Staff.
Huh. Well, we'll see how that one works out. Winter's Curse was used. Okay, that's back there. Poshka. It's like he gets prevented from killing the Wyvern thanks to it, but it's still Winter's Curse on cooldown as the Haste of Marana will loop on through, crystallize. He gets out of there, but he is not having the best time. Hasn't really found anywhere easy to farm. Hasn't been able to split push all too much. Wherever he goes, there's a Treant there using Living Armor. There's Phoenix just diving on top and harassing him. There's now this threat of these arrows, as we've seen kill him once already, so not an easy game for poor Mr. Morphling.
Well, there's the fast Force Staff for the Bat Rider, so he's got a mobility item. Can't entirely agree with it, but maybe it's more of a defensive mindset in mind. Does Ursa have his blink at least? Yeah, he does. Chew. He can make that initiation for them, and the Tiny can follow it up with his Shadow Blade.
I feel like the Force Staff comes sometimes a bit more often against like the Venom, because it's like, okay, he's going to be scouting me maybe with a Plague Ward, it's going to get cancelled, so Force Staff is just better against the slows.
Yeah. But at the same time, if you can get the blink and like smoke or whatever, if you get that instant jump on Veno, then it feels a lot better than trying to run at these heroes, allowing them to set up for Gale and Nova.
I'm definitely with you in that it feels like the blink is overall just more reliable, even though there is a counter to it.
I do think Navi's playing the right way against this Venomancer in the fact that they're always playing the opposite side of the map. Whenever Veno shows himself, he's just going to go run down the lane, and he's going to take your tier 2, and you need to just try and equalize that as best as possible. You're probably not going to, because your heroes aren't as good as pushing as the Venomancer. But more than anything, you just can't get into a team fight right now, because they're much stronger than you, and you need to buy time for... Again, Batrider and Tiny still need their mid-game progression, but obviously our Morphling needs a lot more time to come online.
Yeah, this Morphling's going to be the one hard coming to the split push, but the issue is now their tier 3 tower is being focused away. The Age is still in hand for the TA, so Kuman not really afraid of all too much here on the front lines. And they're just going to force the fight. They know they've got this Phoenix behind them who can just drop a Supernova if things get kind of dicey. They're going to take the tier 3 tower uncontested. Morphling still split pushing, but all he's gotten is a tier 1, and this Rax is not worth trading for even a tier 2 at this point. Chappie gets gone on. Can they bring him down? Gets off the ultimate. Chappie getting brought pretty low here, but kept alive. Phoenix gets off a nice dive Supernova combo off to the side. They can't really bring him down here. Chappie killed by his teammates in the Winter's Curse, but he's the only casualty so far on this Radiant side. They're going to get another dive Fire Spirits off everyone on Na'Vi, forced to buy back. They saved the Rax here, but a very expensive hold at that. Morphling TP'd in. He had to stop the split push to come and fight, and it does not end well. As Empire may even want to continue. But,
see how far back they played with the Ursa just making all the initiation onto the Venomancer. They told the Ursa, go! Suicide, my friend! Go kill that Venomancer for us. He's going to force out the Poison Nova. It's just like the damage comes so slow at that point that not only does he get off Poison Nova, but there is initiation from Empire on that point, including that really well-placed Supernova from the Phoenix.
I mean, that kind of fight seems like the exact scenario where you wish Bat had a blink, because there's going to be some place he can position where he's not being hit by a Plague Ward or he smokes up, and he's able to jump on one of those frontliners hitting the buildings, whether it's the TA or the Veno, and pull them deep into the base. Even the TA with Aegis, you pull her under some tier 4 towers, and you can end the push. And this push does not end as Saniko pokes his nose out of the base, gets picked off, and, well, Wyvern dead and dying back may just mean bottom lane of Rax going down. And it does look like that is going to be the case, as Na'Vi don't really have the answers. They do have the delays as they glyph it up, but it doesn't really feel like they can actually go into this fight.
All right, here's your replacement for the Blink Dagger. Toss the Batrider in.
Ooh, yeah.
Toss him in.
Not bad.
Maybe he gets the lasso, and then he can use his newly acquired Force Staff to pull the hero in. That's a game plan for the second lane of Rax, though.
Yeah, that's what they're going to start thinking of. Batrider, Blink Lasso, finds Seiyu. Phoenix does get focused down as Kuman kind of tries to come in and see what he can get done, but both sides decide, not a whole lot.
I love that Empire just don't back up.
Yeah.
Ever. They just quickly readapt this this push at bottom lane into a mid tier 2 push. They don't want to go high ground until they have their Phoenix back with them. Again, the Supernova is pretty important.
The Aegis expiring as well. There we go. And that'll probably spell a kind of hiatus in action here, as Empire will be, playing the outside of the map, keeping Na'Vi as much as they can bottle in their base and waiting for that next Roshan, but...
Oh no, his trees are gone!
It's Na'Vi who can move out of the map now. They're going to find a Treant, annoying pesky hero who's been a thorn in their side throughout this game.
They kind of open up that side of the map to be farmed up by the Morphling, but Venomancer is consuming all the space on the right-hand side of the map. Taking over that off-lane jungle, that's why Navi is going to move over there as well. Oh, sorry, it was Kuman, the Templar Assassin.
And they bring him down. He's got a BKB, which he may need to pop. He's going to BKB and run. Treant even buying back just for the living armor. Perhaps a bit trigger-happy there, but can TA get some kills? Blizzy pulls him onto the high ground here. TA needs to be careful. Still had that long-duration BKB, luckily, so there was no fault to the lasso. And hey, Chu, he's caught out of no man's land. The Supernova right above his Cold Embrace. Don't think he's got the attack speed for this egg. Maybe he does. He brings it down just barely. He'll pay for it with his life, but not a bad end result considering where he started in that fight. Well, hit Saniko with a trap, but not offer any signs that they want to chase. I think Empire probably just realizing, you know, we're ahead, let's just settle down. We don't have Aegis. This game's getting a bit sloppy. Not particularly just by them, just from both sides. It's kind of turning into this chaotic sequence of play where neither team seems to have much structure, and I think that's something which overall does favor NaVi as they try to claw their way back in.
And as silly as this sounds, Ursa's getting rid of his increased death timer from the buyback last time.
Yeah.
Right? So that extra 25 seconds, you get to throw it on this death where it's probably not going to have that big of an impact. To be honest, Empire already owned the map. It's not like Ursa being alive right now would really do a whole lot to change that. BKB for Empire, so they are completing their finishing touches in teamfight items. Once they have BKB on him, they already have it on Kuman, and maybe like Pipe or something on Chapman. He actually went plate mail. He was refusing to get any sort of mobility item against this Ursa.
It's like, I'm going to hold my ground and try not to die.
And that's fair enough. If you've already gotten these stat items, you just, I think, keep building on them to make yourself, like, you're going to die, but as long as you take as much time away from NaVi.
Plate mail is one of those pretty value items for the armor, but this is one of those games maybe more so than others where the armor doesn't feel as necessary.
The hell? Look at him. He's got 39 armor.
Yeah, the difference between having 25 and 39 against this draft with the magic damage they have doesn't feel game-changing. But end of the day, I don't think it's a bad item. It just doesn't seem like maybe the most efficient use of his gold.
Part of the problem is he doesn't have the HP to back up those increased percentages, right?
Crystallize, they get him with the root into an arrow. It's going to be a long stun, and with the Spirit Vessel, they can bring him down. Yep, he tried to turn and replicate his way out of that one, but not going to be the case as Empire set themselves up in a pretty good position. DD Rune spawns up top, and he tried to deny it, it looks like, but he hit the trap instead, and Kuman has a BKB. He can BKB out of this one. Potentially an Avalanche will be waiting for her on top of him. Actually, going to be the lasso first. Kuman, the refraction, just keeping him alive with the Sunray heal as well, and Kuman just going to turn and fight. Wyvern melts to the right clicks. Don't believe they're done chasing just yet. Blizzy, low health, half HP, caught by the trap, and Kuman with a double damage will finish him off. Nicely played by the Templar Assassin.
Time to go for that second lane of racks.
Yeah. Forget Roshan or anything they say. We don't need to wait for that.
No.
It's on up for another minute.
They got double damage still on the TA. So with Desolator, they'll make short work of all these buildings.
Yep. Unfortunately, no dire glyph any further, so should be maybe following this one up.
Batrider's really the tough hero to push into because of that pullback mechanism.
Yep. So I'll start focusing on this one. Wyvern respawning soon. Will NaVi make a go of this? They've already lost the melee rack, so maybe not even going to consider defending this one. But no, they blink in. Magical gets the toss back, throws the Veno in. Does set him up for a good Poison Nova, but he's in so deep that he's going to go down regardless. And even though the Dire Heroes are all taking a lot of damage and getting low, I don't think Empire care to chase them down. Best case scenario, you kind of kill a hero, maybe finish them off, and you fall back. Worst case, you lose several by chasing.
Veno's got infinite lives. He'll die for every set of racks they need to take. That's fine.
Yeah. He completes the Shiva's Guard, which was also being picked up on Phoenix at some point, as he wants that attack speed slow as well. Definitely a nice item for them as far as the overall damage mitigation goes.
Oh, I forgot. You said there's Roshan up in 1 minute when they push into that high ground. That is the big downside. If they actually give Roshan up to NaVi, which is what they're smoking to right now.
I don't know if they... I think this was a pretty short respawn as Overgrowth. Oh, no, hold on. They're not. Wrong screen again. NaVi going to get started. How can Empire contest this one? Overgrowth is going to be potentially coming in from the trees. Dire Sentry did scout him out, so now they have an idea of where Madden was. Roche getting very low. They throw the Overgrowth, catches them all in the Roshan pit, and Kuman's in there. Aegis on the ground. Somebody pick it up. Who's got it? It's still there. Kuman's going to get it, surely. He has it in his hands. He turns it around. Oh, there we go. That's where Aegis was picked up. Yeah. They put the big mini-map on covering them. I was like, oh, did no one pick up Aegis? Oh, wait, yeah, Kuman got it. He got Winter's Cursed, I guess, a little bit too late, so he does end up claiming it, and that puts Empire in firm control. 2 full lanes of racks, Aegis in their hands, and you got to imagine they're going to go for that killing blow of NaVi fairly soon.
It was a nice try by Sineko. He was pretty fast on the Winter's Curse. But
the timing of that Overgrowth was so perfect. The fact that Phoenix got vision with the dive to see how low Roshan was, and then Treant knew, okay, actually this is this is when I need Overgrowth, otherwise they're getting Aegis. It was just perfect.
You're going to need like another toss-back scenario or really good Batrider lasso pull into the tier 4s.
It's so hard without the curse to take a fight like this, but Kuman already low, so they may be able to bring us down his Aegis pretty cheaply. I wouldn't mind seeing TA just pop the cheese for your first life, just so you can have that full health push going, but see where he looks to head. May just want to throw away his Aegis. They can get this lane of Rax, they probably know it is maybe game over at that point. Diving from Phoenix, getting some good damage with a slow. Ooh, I thought that arrow was going to land, as did Kuman. He blinked in because of it and throws away the Aegis. Don't think we'll see them follow up and go in on top of his respawn, but does make this defense a whole lot more viable. So all of a sudden, Empire have to maybe second-guessing themselves. Do they still go for this? Do they still stick around? The entire NaVi squad has respawned all of a sudden, and perhaps
losing Aegis without them blowing any significant cooldowns really hurts Empire. They can still kind of go for it because their team fight is so strong, but they really have to be wary, again, of the lasso and the tossback from the Tiny. They can still lose this game, certainly, just because NaVi has that late-game Morphling, who is currently sitting on Manta and Ghost Scepter, 1,000 gold away from the Ethereal Blade.
It's not going to be a game changer, though. I feel like TA are definitely not afraid of it with Refraction.
Yeah.
Mirana has BKB. There's just a lot of survivability on heroes like Phoenix. Venom, perhaps one of the main targets. He's only on 1,500 health with a hood, but definitely susceptible to being burst down. It's item progression at the end of the day, so it will definitely help NaVi and swing things their way a little bit further, as it does look like with the Aegis being taken so cheaply that Empire aren't willing to continue going for this push, but perhaps they are going to be willing to search around and look to try find some pickoffs here. What can they find, though? They're trying to suffocate NaVi on their side of the map, both top mid being pushed out and bottom lane being scouted by the Treant Protector, seeing if any heroes dare push any further up this bottom lane to be picked off.
Super close to level 20 on the Venomancer, which is a significant team fight upgrade.
Yep. They're diving in. They're looking for Crystallize. Miposhka pops the BKB and starts doing some right clicks, but he gets cursed up here. He's got the gem too. Don't think you're going to be losing that one, and they're going to get a kill off of that Winter's Curse. Gem was not reclaimed either. It's going to be Wyvern picking it up. No one picked it up. Oh, it was on the Miranda to begin with.
Yeah.
And then no one picked it up after the Winter's Curse. Crystallize getting fairly low here. Waves his way out of this one. Crystallize somehow still alive on a sliver of health. He's holding on. Wyvern forced to buy back, as it does look like NaVi gonna hold on.
I just couldn't believe that Senego just walked in and picked up that gem. Nobody from Empire tried to stop that, but he couldn't fly back to the ledge and does end up giving the gem back to Empire at least.
Okay.
And Empire looking like, not sure really what's going on. We have all this, we should feel really powerful, but we're just not connecting in the right team fights. Maybe with Magical out of position. Turns around, gets a lot of damage on the main, and Blizzy actually makes the initiation they need. If they could blow up Chappie now, they'd be massive. Don't let him get off the Poison Nova, but he's actually already good. Poison Nova was already expended earlier, so it's still on cooldown. Looks like they should be able to chase down Chappie, but at the same time, Kuman goes in, managed to blow up the Winter Wyvern. He's dead. Chu's going to be up next. That's two supports dead on the side of NaVi, one of which does have that buyback. Now Crystallize going to be scythe-devised in. Arrow lands onto him. Crystallize going to be controlled up. Triple kill for Kuman, but now with the Avalanche coming in, breaking through the Refraction, and Chu with big-time damage, they will beat him down. Magical looks for more. Miposhka's going to turn and fight with his BKB. Will be able to take on that core, but now with the magic immunity gone, he can no longer afford to fight into that Batrider, but no vision. No detection.
And this is where Morphling, he bought back for that. After dying, he insta-buys back. They killed the TA without needing his buyback. He's probably thinking, wait a second, why did I actually buy back here? Should have maybe waited to see how that fight progressed a bit more before committing to that. He is able to push up both bottom and mid lane, which needs to be addressed, but NaVi kind of come out on top of that team fight, except for the part where they had to commit all those buybacks, which definitely don't feel good. They were on their side of the map, both Morphling, Ursa, and then a minute ago, Wyvern using their buybacks. You can see there it is still a gold win for NaVi with the 4 kills they got, but you're kind of setting Empire up to land that killing blow around the next Roshan, or even going for a high ground push with those buybacks on cooldown.
Yeah, the problem is, right, is that Morphling lost gold, and the gold went to Tiny and Batrider from that gain on NaVi.
Yeah.
So it's like you're blowing buybacks to get a little bit, survive a little bit longer and everything, but the gold needs to actually change the game for you. And Tiny getting a 4-staff isn't going to change the game.
I get the Yules. They didn't need the overgrowth, but they opt to be safe. As they'll bring down the Batrider. It does put overgrowth on cooldown, so don't imagine we'll see an immediate high ground attempt necessarily. Not to mention Batrider does have buyback, but at the same time, Empire happy to keep pushing these lanes out and playing on the enemy side of the map, looking to maintain their aggression.
Finally, the pipe now for Chappie, and he's working on Scythe of Ice next.
Yep. So that will make life a bit more difficult for someone like a Morphling, who does not have a Lincoln Sphere if he gets insta-hexed. Definitely easy ways they can burst him down. Not the best save on this Dire side, necessarily, unless Siniko's there to get a good Winter's Curse off or a Cold Embrace. And Empire, for now, happy to slow things down. Waiting for the Overgrowth to come back, which should be online fairly soon. Is there something... Okay, for a second I saw the Courier going to Trin. I'm like, does this guy have an Ag Scepter already? He bought the Point Booster, but it's just some Sentry Wards. He's not actually that close to an Ag Scepter.
Level 3 Supernova. They're going to be hard-pressed to deal with that egg.
That is a nice little upgrade, considering Navi's lineup is okay at killing the egg, but not amazing by any means. Ursa playing that kind of 4-position role isn't the best egg killer by any means. Magical goes in with Chu. They want to go on Chappie. He does get the Poison Over off, so one of those scenarios where he may just die for the greater good. Is he even going to die here? He's caught next to the Supernova, which is definitely going to pop. It's not being focused at all. That's going to stun absolutely everyone. And with the Venom Poison Nova, NaVi just get destroyed in this fight. They instantly buy back 2. They know their Rax is about to be under siege, and they may not be able to defend it without those 2 heroes. They committed some ultimates too. There won't be Supernova Overgrowth is the good news, but I don't know if they can defend this. It's 5v3, and Empire may just be able to break through finally.
Batrider's got to like suicide or something. He's got to draw some attention, open up an opportunity for Tiny to make his initiation, but he gets instantly Scythe of Ice as soon as he shows up.
Yeah, it's going to be forced back. Crystallize also on the back 40 out of mana here as well. Poshka getting a bit low, perhaps overextending, but Kuman, he's on the objectives. TA just hitting the racks. Say, team, you do whatever you want. Distract them, feed. I'm going to make sure we get the Mega Creeps here, and 40k gold lead almost. 39 minutes of the game. The Throne's even dying here. They didn't even need to go to the racks. They could have just gone for the Throne. I imagine this is going to be GG now. NaVi need to find a way to defend this one. They've still got a few heroes alive. A last hurrah perhaps, but Morphling dead without buyback. Same for the Tiny. It's all over for NaVi. Their run here in the WePlay Reshuffle madness has ended as the Throne will fall. Game over for them. But Cap told me it'd be a close game 3. You lied to me.
Yeah. 40,000 gold lead really isn't close, huh?
No.
Congrats to Team Empire. The fact that they, with this pretty young squad, are finding some wins. They found that one game against Furzy. They've now 2-1'd NaVi, who qualified for the minor. This is good progression for them. Let's see if they can complete the trio here. They may have taken down NaVi, but they needed to beat Odium in the next series. And if they can do that, I can see Team Empire growing into a good team, but they definitely don't look anywhere close to being like one of the top dogs. NaVi honestly just looks not good.
It's weird. It's weird. They didn't look good at all. But I mean, I imagine a week ago they did look good when they qualified for the minor because they were playing against these same teams.
Yeah.
Obviously, no VP, no Furzy, but the CIS scene. It just seems so odd that VP have been consistently a tier 1 team, best team in CIS, no questions asked, and there hasn't been that 1 to 2 teams who have established themselves as I'm second best, I'm third best. Like you look at NA for the last year, and it was like there's this clear top 3. There's EG kind of at the top, and then there's VGJ Optic, who will sometimes compete with EG. For a while, VGJ looked better, but there was this clear like upper echelon of teams. CIS, it just seems like there's VP, and then there's this messy blob of like I don't know, 5 teams, 6, 7 teams.
Yeah. That
are all comparable. Like those times, Windstrike. Windstrike, they're this new CISO. Yeah. Where are they today? They're not even, I don't actually think they're in this tournament, so they didn't get eliminated. But
where are you?
Yeah, eliminated from this tournament. You didn't even qualify for it. That'd be but like they didn't qualify for the major or minor.
Yeah.
And I think they were being talked about like, oh, you know, the next big CIS team, and 3 months later they're gone. Same that seems to happen with these Spirits, these NaVi rosters, these Empire rosters, whatever it is, these Vega rosters for a while.
Yeah, that was one I thought of, where Vega always in this cycle of like, oh, they're on the come up, oh, they look good, they're at an international event, they flop miserably, and then they end up just, even in their own qualifiers, falling down.
There's enough good captains and players. Somebody should be able to make a stable CIS team that is second best and consistently second best to VP, and sometimes, you know, as good as them. And I feel like no one's done that. It hasn't happened. I don't know.
Yeah, we haven't had that
since
stability.
VP has existed as a tier 1 team.
I mean, just look at Lil and Odium. He thought that his ideas of this team was he was going to be maybe second best, maybe best CIS team in his ideas of Dota, and they already dropped 2 players. So,
I mean, I'm sure Furzy have some ideas that might be them, but you know, if the CIS scene, and it's not just CIS, I feel like we're maybe kind of, it happens in other regions. I think SEA is very similar in a way where there's like a couple at the top, and then there's this giant mess of teams all together that kind of interchangeably beat each other.
The inconsistency in results affects the inconsistency in the roster, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Right? It's like you're not getting the winning results that you want. Time to change up the roster, but also, you know, changing rosters that much means you're not going to be able to see the consistency in results as well. So,
like I would probably right now, if someone gave me like an even odds, would Furzy qualify for another major? I'd probably say no.
Yeah.
To be honest, based on the CIS scene, I think that they're obviously good and look like, as of today, the second best CIS team, but trends show that it will not stay that way. And I don't think they have like the kind of captain and organization behind them that's going to make them stay a stable team. But I hope for their sake and for the CIS region's sake, they stay good. We're going to see more CIS Dota, more Empire Dota. We got Odium versus Empire up next. We're a bit behind schedule, so we'll be hopping to that quickly, and we'll be hopping to a break quickly, so you guys can grab your drinks, your snacks, and get ready for our final best of 3 of today.